Fire in the hole. Welcome to Fro-Dog Arcade Repair. Today on the bench we have a Foshan SHiDE Universal Chinese Chassis. I'm going to grab another one here so I can show you the sticker. Foshan SHiDE Electronics Company Limited. Looks like their logo tends to be this SHiDE with the small EI, the lowercase I. It's a model HL-2529. It's meant as a universal replacement for between 25 and 29 inch chassis. It is a low impedance yoke. Now I have seen this same chassis marked as for smaller CRTs as well. But this HL-2529 chassis is a copy or a knockoff or a direct just current iteration of Weiya chassis. The same design was used by Weiya. It's the one that has the discrete vertical IC, your vertical linearity pot here, and a pincushion pot over here. Now some of these come with a really yellowish looking board and a red surround, red and black, for all of these controls on the front edge. This latest generation or iteration, which is from 2025-04-28, April 28th. Now, to give you a point of reference, this is currently August 2026. I decided to try a couple of these from Alibaba. I ordered them. They seem to be put together pretty decent. The flow solder is on par with the Weiyas. It's not the best, but I didn't have any trouble with this chassis out of the pack. But what we're going to do today is light bulb test, and to show you how to adjust the B+ on this particular unit. Now I have the HOT out. I have it unsoldered, out of circuit. It is a BU-2508 DX, David X-ray. That's the one with the built-in damper diode resistor combo. Now with it out of circuit, we're not going to have any high voltage. We're just testing power supply. Now, where we find our B+ on this particular chassis is on the inboard leg of this resistor here. Now, I'm looking for a marking on the board as to what that resistor is. It is R6. R6, this inboard leg, closest towards our B+ resistor. That'll be our connection point to test our B+ and to hook up our light bulb. We have our light bulb. We have our light bulb in parallel across our leads here, so we can do volts DC and see what our B+ is. So without further ado, fire in the hole. We have a light bulb. We have 113.7. Now these particular chassis are a 115 to 120 B+. I have seen it stated as 110. I've seen it stated as 120. I've seen it stated as 115 and 117. I think 117 is a pretty decent middle ground, and from testing on a tube, I believe that's a good place for it. Now without a full load, this one's showing 114, so I think we're in the ballpark. We're looking good, and our power supply is stable. So I'm going to take a little pause. We'll put that HOT back in, and we'll be back for a stage 2. All right, we're back for our stage 2 light bulb test. Our HOT is back in. Again, this is a BU-2508DX, David X-ray. That is the one with a damper diode. The way to remember that is D is damper diode. F as the FX series is your voltage regulator transistor. It does not have a damper diode. So way to remember is D for damper diode. That DX will get you for your HOT. Now, these particular chassis do not like FJL-6920s. Part of the reason is they don't fit the heatsink. If you notice, we have a pretty distinct groove here in the heatsink that is just wide enough and fits great on a TO3P plastic case transistor. Now this one has no insulator behind it because it's fully plastic case, but if you were to replace it with something that did not have a fully plastic case, you're going to want an insulator. The FJL-6920 also does not have a damper diode built in. It's an exceptionally robust transistor, and it will survive in a lot of applications that it may not be made for or running optimally in, and has kind of gotten that moniker of a universal replacement for horizontal output transistors, and in my opinion it is not. Great transistor, just not a one cure-all, fix-all application. Enough of my ramblings. We've got it hooked up. We do have our anode in our glass Pac-Man mug, because we will be getting some weak high voltage, but here's stage 2 light bulb test. Fire in the hole. All right, now I can hear the high voltage over here, and if you put your hand on the glass jar, and again, it should be a fairly thick piece of glass, but it will increase the sound of that sizzling in there as you can hear it. We're still sitting at about a 113.2 on our B plus voltage, and just to show you that does change, we can adjust it here. I'm going to take it back to the 113.2 we found it at. All right, so that's how you light bulb test an HL-2529 from Foshan SHiDE, the newest iteration of the universal chassis. Thank you for joining me at Fro-Dog Arcade Repair. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful, or at least entertaining. Please subscribe below, like, follow, and share with your friends. And remember, fire in the hole.